Hello and welcome to the SE25 cast. Today, Palace relegate West Brom, Jemaby imitates an air horn, and the last part of the season degenerates into complete anarchy.
Right. Okay.
Right.
When we
Go
start
ahead.
this, I think we're gonna bang this out. It's gonna be awesome. Okay. Welcome to the final SE25 cast of the 17-18 Premier League season before we reach the inevitable World Cup pods, transfer window pods, and pods discussing things like Brexit. Fuck that. We're at least a week away from that. We've got an FA Cup final to talk about next week. But for now, West Brom, they came down to Palace and I think they capitulated miserably, and Crystal Palace played a part in a small part in the relegation of a fairly shit, probably the last remaining of the deadwood plug circling awful teams. And I got two Redditors, two Discorders here to talk about it. I got Panda making his second appearance on the pod.
Woo woo!
And I have Jemaby, who I'm not even going to count how many Jemaby's done. We're on episode 16. I think Jemaby is he's a pretty much first name on the team sheet at this point. How are you, Jemaby?
I'm still alive. I'm getting there.
Excellent. And Jemaby, little thanks from me, who couldn't get to the kit unveiling, super amazing awards, where the players basically showed how poorly they could dress, except for Momo Sacco, who made the best of the event. Let's not dwell on that. We can get to Amazeballs kits later on today. I think the pod's ready and raring to go. Was this best game of the season, or were West Brom the worst team we've seen of the season? What did you think, Panda?
I thought I thought the players were already on holiday when I watched that first half. It was awful. Well, I wouldn't say awful, but it wasn't the best of halves. I think this team started way better, quicker, faster tempo. But this game, we just seemed to be passing it around the back, and we weren't really expansive. Luka didn't want to stick his head up when Wan-Bissaka was running down the wing right here. But second half it would change. Credit to Patrick Van Aanholt, who's made a massive improvement in my eyes, as I rated Schlapp higher than him at one point. But and credit to Wolf for getting the goal. Like I said, wasn't the best of games, but it was a nice way to end off the season, in my opinion.
Jemaby, take us away.
Well, I sort of agree. I thought we'll realistically do this. I remember the second half, about 60th minute, my sister saying, "What do you reckon?" And she was like, "Come on, sing, what you doing?" I was like, "You know what? I'm pissed off." I was like, "We should be fucking winning this. About 3-0 by now from Wilf's shitty miss and whoever fucking else's fucking miss. We should have been 3-0 up probably before half time." And I was coming into the second half, I was pissed off. Like, I know it's the last game of the season and we're safe. And I'm thinking, we're safe, but we're battling for 10th now. We're battling for money, etc., etc. Didn't realize Chelsea were going to be so shit. But yeah, I mean, we was just all literally just all over. Usually when a team plays at Selhurst, there's at least a couple of times where I'm head in hands at one point thinking, bloody hell, we got lucky there. To be honest, I can't remember one situation the entire game where I just thought, man, we was lucky to not concede. It might just be because I'm on fucking whiskey number 4 and beer number 8 or whatever, but I can't really remember a time where I was actually panicking in that game. But I was pissed off until we scored, basically. And then when we got the second, I was calm. But I still think it should have been, the scoreline doesn't show what the game actually was, from my eyes anyway.
No, I felt like it could have been a 3-0 up to a 6-0. To talk about the hairier points, the points that made me were like, oh, come on, not again. I felt like Sacco had got the wrong boots on today. He seemed intent on trying to give away stupid opportunities to West Brom. I don't know, if it comes out in later life that Sacco has taken payments to try and lose, today was one of those days. Today was blatantly Sacco trying to put his kids in private school. Yeah, there was one where he's gone up the pitch to the halfway line. There's about 4 Free Palace players, and he tries one of those Hollywood across the pitch passes, and it just goes to, whoever in a blue and white shirt. And you're just, at that point, you're like, come on. And then 2 or 3 times Sacco and Tompkins got in each other's way in the middle of our box. There was no real danger from it because they did look awful. And I honestly think, West Brom were the worst team who've turned up at Palace this season, which isn't a big surprise. They're already relegated. Like you say, we've got really only one position to play for, which, whether that's worth 2 to 5 million, maybe as much as 10 on a really good day, I don't think it's likely to be enough to really motivate the players. And I think that the sad bit for me was this was one of those days, like last season, we got the whole game, and that was awesome. I think with Leicester, you had perhaps the ability that the excitement of a big home win had gone, like a massive thrashing of a team had gone. You've perhaps got a few players who didn't want to get injured. Luca, perhaps. We haven't got many other players going to the World Cup, but yeah, for me, I think there was some holding back, and it was a shame. I think also West Brom had set up not to get tonked. They're the only decent players they had seemed to be playing in defence, and Darren Moore had them reasonably well organised. But yeah, anyone else got anything else to add on this point?
Yeah, I just want to go with not West Brom as a team, but their fans today were fucking unbelievable. Considering I was discussing it with Amelia as well. I said if we was in that situation, West Brom was the last game of the season and Palace were down, and we just thought, oh fuck it, let's just go up there, we'd be exactly the same. But the first half, oh my god, you can't even fault them. Even in the Homesdale, they were loud. They were just going for it. They were just thinking, fuck it, we're down, let's just have a laugh. We'll come into, Credonia, wherever they think they're coming. Yeah, they were just on a mad one, and I just think, like, I was just there, like, good for you guys. Like, you're down, but you're just, fuck it, like, you're just coming down, just thinking whatever's gonna happen. They had fucking beach balls there, fucking inflatable, I don't know, dolphins and shit, inflatable rings just flying up and down their away area, and I just thought, fuck it, like, that's exactly what I would hope if other way around, if Palace were getting relegated, we'd go to West Brom and just think, you know what, fuck it, and just sing our hearts out, throw the whatever inflatables or red and blue balloons around. And I just thought, yeah, it's nice to see that, like, they're down. And I think that's why at the end of the game, when Palace went off, there was probably maybe one, like, Johan or maybe Luca who was trailing a little bit, but other than that, it was the whole West Brom team as a whole. And I clapped for them just for the fans. I just thought, respect to you guys just because of the fans. So yeah, adding that on for the West Brom fans. Like, if I doubt our West Brom fans listen to this, but yeah, you guys done yourself proud today.
Now, Pandy, you've, similar to Jamebi and I, not the greatest game of the season. Was there at least a standout player for you from the Palace side or the West Brom side?
I'm going to be slightly biased because he is my friend, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he was brilliant. He was defensively solid. He got forward. He committed to tackles. I mean, no disrespect to Joel Ward, but if that was James McLean, he would have breezed past Ward easily. And so credit to the guy, he's 20 now. I mean, he looks like he's been playing all his life at right back. He's a wing, obviously, from his academy days, but credit to him for stepping up and actually looking as part of the team,
Well, I mean, Joel Ward's my friend. And Come on then, this is opportunity, Panda. So you don't need to tell us your life story or, compromise your anonymity. But so tell us what a surprise it is for you, or how of a bigger surprise it is to see this kid who, to the best of your knowledge, was in Palace as a winger or a forward, playing as a right back. How does that
It's
happen for you, or how does it feel?
it's weird because it just felt like yesterday I was going to school with him. My school did a partnership with Palace where the youth academy kids would get education and then head straight to the training. And then they were a cocky bunch, but he was always the quiet one. And I think Zaha recently gave an interview where he mentioned it as well, that Wan-Bissaka just kept his head down and is a quiet one. And then now I go to the games, I see him, and it's like I'm sitting in the stands cheering him on, and he's out there strutting his business, And it's crazy. It feels like I said, it was just yesterday I was just speaking to him, and it's crazy to watch him grow, to starting in the first team in the Premier League. It's a credit to him and the hard work he puts in.
And that particular partnership, we don't need to mention the school, but that's finished now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I believe I don't go there anymore, but I read about it. I think this was the last year. I'm not sure why Palace cancelled it, but they are. But,
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, it was really great to meet like players that are playing in academy, and then I know some of them have been released by the club and now working their way through non-league or the lower leagues, such as Michael Phillips, Ben Winter. It's really nice knowing them and seeing them. And you can tell. I don't think you can really tell, but you kind of learn who the cocky and arrogant ones are, and the silent ones. And yeah.
Excellent. Well, I would have been the fat one, so I would have been in that. But no, so thank you for that little bit of insight. Jamebi, standout player for you today, if there was one?
I'm going to be like, I don't know how many people actually listen to the podcast, but when the white van turns up at my door, I'm going to literally, I'm going to go with Benteke first, because after he came on, we scored 2 goals, and that might be an unpopular opinion, but it's Benteke, come on, 2 goals. Is it him holding the ball up? But mainly, I'm going to go with Hennessy. It's another clean sheet for him, and I personally don't think he gets the respect he deserves, because he didn't really have much to do this game, but it's just another clean sheet. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't have any shots on goal or whatever. It's just, fuck it, he's in goal. And I felt a bit sorry for him after the game, because I know Speroni's a fucking club legend and stuff, but everyone's like, Julian Speroni, and you're just thinking, fucking Hennessy's there. I know Hennessy, maybe he won't play for us next season, blah, 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 but don't know. I'm going with man of the match, Wayne Hennessy. Another clean sheet. Fuck it. Fuck everyone.
Wow.
That's... I'll be honest with you, I didn't see that coming.
Did anyone see that coming?
You've thrown me completely, because I was kind of, I'm like, James MacArthur. Wan-Bissaka was probably where I would have gone before Panda picked it. It's boring to just copy that. I think I'm going to go with Pat as my player of the match. Benteke did make a massive difference when he came on, and there's one of those moments in the first half where you realise when Townsend isn't getting forward for whatever reason, and a lot of it is because he was tracking back, and I really like McLean. I'd love McLean to come be a Palace player. He's got that grit and that work rate that we love. I thought Patrick was great. I thought Benteke, when he came on, his work rate was good, but we actually looked better with a focal point against this team. I think because the way the opposition had set up gave Palace the opportunity to actually exploit them. They were sat deep because they were expecting to get caught on the break by Zaha and Townsend, which then gave that space for Benteke to play in. But when Benteke came on, we only put 2 or 3 crosses in. The rest of it actually became really nice footwork outside the box. But for some reason, before Benteke was on, it wasn't very direct. When he was on, I felt like we were really direct. And that kind of brings me to Pat again, because Pat he came alive when that pitch got stretched. And all of a sudden, he's there. McLean, and I don't think it was McLean on the right, whoever it was on the right, particularly after Sturridge came on and West Brom just gave up. It just gave Pat so much more space and so much more, I think, confidence that no one was going to get in behind him. And I thought he was great. But I've been bowled over by Jamibi's out of left field effort here. Yeah, Wayne Hennessy, man of the match. Probably, I'm going to change my vote for player of the season based on that.
No,
But
I think
I mean, you got anything else to add, Panda, Jamibi?
I think credit to Patrick Van Aanholt for proving me wrong, because I always thought Schlupp was the better defensive outlet, but he's changed my opinion. He's everywhere, like you said, up and down the pitch, scoring goals now. But credit to him, when he came in, he was injured. He had many games, but he's stuck. Roy gave him faith, and then look, he's grasped it. Credit to the lad for working hard and seizing the opportunity, and he's come to start, in my opinion, a fan favorite. Well, starting to become one anyway.
Yeah. I'm not even going to comment on Van Aanholt. As you know, I've got him on the back of my shirt. I love him and stuff. But I'm going back to Benteke. I think it was the last pod I said it. I don't know if I said it in the last pod or did I just say it to someone randomly, but I would love Benteke to stay at this club. I know he's been shit this season, and last season he was good. This season he's been fucking shit. Like, I can hand on heart say that. I just think that we underestimate how much he actually brings to the team. There's been multiple matches where, especially the last couple of matches, I know we've been scoring, fair enough, blah blah blah. We've got Townsend and Zaha up front. None of them guys are tall, and none of them guys they're not really. I remember the days when we got Balassi and Zaha up each wing going, bah, and then crossing into someone fucking massive and thinking, bang, that's going in. It's not like that, and I think it's like what you're saying. I think don't step. When we had a target man, it changed, but similarly, when in the Brighton game, when we didn't have a target man, it changed. There was no target man, and Brighton were just like, we don't know what the fuck to do. And yeah, we won the game probably from the first 20 minutes of them not knowing what to do. And similarly, when Benteke came on with West Brom, I don't know if it was just because we had a target man and they started marking Benteke, and suddenly Zaha, Van Aanholt become free. You never know. And I don't know. If there was a bet to, I don't know, how would you bet on Benteke being amazing next season? I don't know. I can do a little insider bet if anyone on the pod or outside the pod wants to bet. Put 10 on it. It'll do good next season. You never know. I mean,
I think at this point, nobody at the start of the season would have told you that Benteke was going to get more assists than goals. And I think if someone had told you that Benteke's goal scoring was going to be so low, but we'd finish 11th and we'd have a goal difference that was better than anyone else in the bottom half, no one's going to believe you at that point. Particularly when you consider like Sorloth coming in and he scored nothing, he's done nothing. I think the point about, for me, having Roy, different to Pardew, who Pardew's way of changing a formation was to physically have to take players off and on. He couldn't change the shape with the existing players on the pitch. But Roy has got a much more of an ability to change the shape, change the style, and maybe spot an opportunity. And I think we've seen that in the second half of the season, that with Brighton, we were way better off with causing the mayhem from Townsend, Loftus-Cheek and Zaha. But actually with West Brom, they weren't necessarily too clever, but they were like, well, you're not going to catch us offside if we just keep sitting back. And when you brought Benteke on, and all of a sudden the two boring, no-name centre-backs, the Aldi versions of whoever they are, just went to Benteke, and it all of a sudden freed up everyone else to run at them. Jamubi, what do you think to that?
I was going to say, based on what you said about Roy Hodgson having an eye on players, I don't mean to be boring because I know I'm Van Hano and Chung and Lee, but Chung and Lee's been playing the past couple even if he comes on at the fucking whatever 80th minute or whatever. But after when the players done the lap of honor today, I clocked that Chung and Lee was one of the first players who went round in the blah blah blah. And then Roy Hodgson and Chung Lee had like a handshake and stuff like that. And maybe he'll go next season, maybe he'll stay. But I think there's more to him than like we bring forward sort of thing. Even from the program today, it was just like, who's had the most international appearances out of these three players? They're all shit players. Even Chung Lee is a shit player. I can hand on heart say that. But I think exactly what you said. He knows what he's doing. Like, we can say what everyone on the pods, and it's just an opinion, but I think even stupid things, like as stupid as it sounds, Chung and Lee coming on the fucking 90th minute or whatever he came on today. What is it? I can tell. 85th minute. Is it a tactical? I know he was 2-0 up, but he's not going to bring a player on that's going to make him lose 2 goals and draw. You know what I mean? Like, I do think he knows what he's doing. But at the same time, I know people like Alex were getting emotional at the no subs, and I personally was as well. But at the same time, we've got to have faith in Roy, and I do think he knows what he's doing. And on a reverse on everything I've just said, I'm surprised that Sorloth didn't come in instead of Benteke. So I've just basically contradicted myself. But I thought, because we was 2-0 up, not 2-0 up, we was 0-0 at that point. But we was safe in the Prem, and Newcastle were winning at that point. You might as well just brought Sorloth on, and yeah, or even both of them. Like, take Kabay off for Sorloth and Benteke off for MacArthur, like he did. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna throw it to Panda with like a slight twist on it, because I think Chung-Yi came on so he could get a send off. I think Pap Soiree came on so he could get a send off. I think. Go on, Panda.
If that's
Run with that.
It's great. I'm not sure what to make of it, really. I mean, if he wants to give sends off, why didn't he bring on Sprony? But I'm really not.
Definitely.
Also, I don't think Sorloth was in the squad today, was he? Pretty sure Sorloth was injured.
No,
he wasn't on the bench. No, he wasn't on the bench.
Oh no, he wasn't.
You had Riederwald, Martin Kelly, Slupp, and Speroni unused.
Oh, so it was. Yeah, he was. I thought I didn't come in. What was the question again? I've forgotten.
do you think? So forgetting Jamubi's Sorloth point.
Yeah.
Which stands, but he wasn't available. Roy hasn't picked him. Not on the injury list, so we'll assume Roy's saving him for like the World Cup or international friendlies or something. Do you think? Because Suarez come on, not for any reason other than to get a clap before he leaves. Chun-Yong Lee, Benteke, have they come on to get a clap and then leave, or have they come on for reasons like Jamubi suggesting, where Chun-Yong Lee actually Roy can see something we can't see?
I agree with. I think the Benteke sub was more to change the dynamic of the game, because I just felt up to the minute before Benteke came on, nothing was happening. There was a lack of creativity. I also agree with the Chung-Yong Lee sub. I still think he offers a lot. Well, not a lot, but he offers something different. He's a good passer of the ball, but he's very lightweight. But yeah, I think he was more tactical rather than a send-off. Soiree, I think that was for the applause, because obviously he was involved in the incident. And then, Yes, but I think that Suarez one was definitely for the players, but the other two were tactical.
Okay, I will happily offer £5 sterling note to either of you if Chungy is still a Palace player
Oh no, he was
at the end
definitely.
of the transfer window. That boy got brought on for a clap and get sent back to Korea.
Nah.
In my
I think
eyes, that
I
Or
think
sent back to Bolton. That.
I think he'll leave. I
well,
think he'll
they got to
leave.
stay up in the championship. So they're looking for championship level players, and we got one, and his name's Chun Yong Lee.
Yeah, I think he'll leave.
I'll be happy for the bloke if he leaves. And I've got him in my sticker book, the FIFA World Cup sticker book, and that was the one. That was as soon as I got Chung Lee, that was the fucking happiest moment of my life in that sticker book. But yeah, going back to the send off, I don't think it was a send off. For Suarez maybe, but I even though I'm a Chung Lee fan, I 100% agree with Panda. I think it was to change the dynamics because Chung Lee, he might be shit. He is pretty shit, but he was running at the ball, blah 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 blah. And if he was going for a send off, I personally was surprised that he didn't sub Hennessy for Speroni, even in the last like the 90th minute. Just think, fuck it, we're 2-0 up. Just bring Speroni on just for a clap. But yeah, if he was going for a clap, Speroni had to come on. So.
But do you think he did? Because I'll tell you the rationale in our little family was Speroni hasn't come on because Speroni's had a testimonial. Everyone loves him. He got his little Speroni chant the other day at the kit unveiling. Like, Chungy, most people don't even know who Chungy is. You ask a Palace fan who Chungy is, it's like the bloke 8 rows to the left. There's no idea.
Heartbreaking, isn't it? It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and this is like he's basically one up from Jordan Much. It's I've just for me, I think Roy's done the decent thing there and brought him on, and I think I was surprised he didn't get Speroni on, but I wonder in our house, like I say, I think because he's had a testimonial, and I think there's a half chance he's going to get given another season because he's proved this year he can still do it. So I think Speroni might get a year's contract, and he'll play as the third goalie next year. Alongside also, I think Hennessy's been offered another contract because I think
he deserves it.
Yeah, I think you pull Hennessy off. You give Hennessy the substitution. You bring Speroni on. They both get a massive clap, and they both go if they're going. But I think Hennessy's been offered to stay, and I think Speroni's been offered to stay. That's my, not very well informed opinion on
I
that.
think the fans are really, really, really harsh on Hennessy, especially after the fucking mad game. Fair enough, he makes crazy. Like, I'll go back not way back. Couple of years. Was it the season before with the Aston Villa mistake? And like, it wasn't bad for us because we didn't go down or whatever. But you just think, fuck off. Like, stupid shit like that. It's just like, what are you doing? But I remember the Chelsea away game last season, I think, where I won all that money. Woo! Like, we put I remember just going like, I'm going to put a tenner on this game. I said, Amelia, put a tenner on this game. My dad, put a tenner on this game. We're going to win it. And then we literally, I remember walking out of Chelsea being my Bet365 account, 330 quid, and I was like, fuck. But I remember Hennessy having a crazy game, and then the Liverpool game after that, Hennessy had a crazy game. And everyone still had a chip on their soldier. Right, fuck it. I'm going to shut up. Soldier. Everyone just had a chip on their shoulder about Hennessy. And I just thought, like, why though? Because he's done so good. Even this season, like, there's a few literally, I think every Panda and Don't Step, you can both say there's been a couple of games this season where if he hadn't made them fucking crucial saves, well, you never know if another keeper would have made them, but he's made a couple of saves in my eyes that have kept us in the Prem, basically. And yeah, I would happily say that. Like, he's made a couple of fucking mad saves in this season that have kept us in the Premiership, for sure.
You got a view there, Panda?
I agree. I think Wayne Hennessy is a solid option, but the problem is, in my opinion, he's more of a confidence goalkeeper. If he's low on confidence, you'll see him reluctant to leave his line, and obviously we've seen what happens when that happens. But on his day, like Jimmy pointed out, he's kept us and saved us points. I think of the Brighton game when we're 3-2 up, and then one of their players took a volley from outside the area and he blocked it. You know, Liverpool games when he kept us in it. He's a solid option, and I'd be glad to see him stay as a more of a backup to Gaeta if he does still come to Palace. And yeah, I think he's been since Tony Pierce has been here, and he's never complained. I think he knows he isn't liked by some fans in the club, but yeah, I think he's been a solid option. And he's more of a confidence goalkeeper. You need someone to get him firing again, and Roy's done just that. So credit to Roy and the coaching staff as well as Wayne.
Okay, I think that's a solid 4.5 hours on Wayne Hennessy. That was probably gonna we can put that to bed until the summer.
What do you think, Don't Step, though? You haven't said your opinion.
Mate, my opinion's difficult because what Panda said I agree with. He's clearly a confidence keeper, and I actually think that there's been a lot of things, a lot of changes that have happened over the last 3 seasons now, maybe even 4, since we brought Hennessy in. And Hennessy, I think you can see where there's periods of stability and someone's got their arm around him and he's not being challenged for that number 1 jersey. That's when you see the best of Wayne Hennessy. When you see him at Euro 2016, that's the Wayne Hennessy every Palace fan, and probably every player wants in the sticks. What you don't want is the Wayne Hennessy who flaps, the Wayne Hennessy who overcomplicates simple shit and then lets silly goals in. And unfortunately, during that period of 3 or 4 years, we've seen both. And I think that the problem is, particularly for Wayne with the Palace fans, Palace have had a succession of big character goalies. Whether you've got, you go all the way back to Nigel Martin. I don't really remember much before Nigel Martin. And I'm not going to talk about Perry Suckling, but there's been big goalies. You got stupid goalies like Kirali with his stupid trousers. You've got Kevin Miller, who was basically a massive fat bloke. You've got more recently then Speroni. You've had goalies in there, Chris Day, Carlo Nash, and you would see them commanding their box. You'd see them doing shit. I think for me, the biggest problem with Wayne and the connection with the fans, you don't see him doing anything. He's not a big, strong voice. He's not. So every time there is a mistake, it's easy to pick on him. And I think Palace have had a few players like that over the years, not just in goal, but players in positions where you can see the guy go into his shell and kind of not re-emerge. I'd almost put Benteke in that category. I think if Benteke, what was the game he came on for recently? It was did he come on the Brighton game? It was the game he came on for at Selhurst, and he got caned. The poor bloke got fucking caned. And this is not long after he's got like his 5 assists or 7 assists if you include the cup. But for me, Hennessy's the same. Hennessy, you only look at the goalie when he's either pulling off saves or he's letting goals in. For the first half of our season, we looked shite. And he wasn't a Frank de Boer keeper because he doesn't like the ball being at his feet. Speroni does like the ball being at his feet. He's much more comfortable. He's got fantastic passing stats, which Hennessy doesn't have. And I think, so you've got a keeper this season who was unsettled at the start, and that kind of led on. And I think he lost, is it Martin Margetson, the guy who came in under Allardyce, and at the end of last season where Hennessy was looking better, that stability starts again. The instability starts again over the summer. And then Dean Kiley comes in earlier this season after Roy. Roy comes in, Wayne starts to improve. Dean Kiley comes in. There's another big leap forward of improvement. But I think the other big leap of improvement is Speroni gets injured. There's no looking over his shoulder. This isn't like a number 9 who has to fire in goals because if he doesn't, someone else is going to come in and nick his place. Hennessy doesn't. That's not him. Hennessy's the player who needs Roy Hodgson to send him a text. Hope you sleep well tonight, Wayne. You're going to be my best goalie net tomorrow. He's that kind of. He needs that, and I think Dean Kiley, Cavalieri coming in clearly, not about to walk into a team where he barely speaks English and he's not been playing in the league. He's there purely as a backup, and I think Wayne, the confidence levels improve, and he's been fantastic in the last few weeks. I thought that Brighton game, where there was a mistake from Luca and then there was a mistake from, I think it was Tompkins or Sacco, and you see Wayne big in his goal going mental at the players, which is what Palace fans want to see. They want to see that big, charismatic personality, strong, control in his box, being part of the defence goalie, not Wayne, who looks like a massive 30-year-old giant, but behaves like a 13-year-old who's just had his Ribena stamped on by the school bully. So that's kind of my very extended, the full EP version. But I like the bloke. I think we should re-sign him. But I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep if we don't, because I think there are plenty of other goalies out there of a similar caliber, maybe not as good, but they don't perhaps bring all the emotional trouble that Wayne Hennessy brings. And I thought there were some Instagram pictures the other day that were quite telling. You had the pictures with like Jimmy Mack, Martin Kelly, Wayne Hennessy, I forget who else it was, maybe Tompkins. And you kind of see that there are cliques and little friendship groups in our squad, and Hennessy seems to be in some of them. He's not like a loner. So I look at it in that regard as, we've got a bunch of like the big French lads or French speaking lads, whether they're French or, kind of African, Belgium, it doesn't matter. They speak French and they're together. You've then got lads as like the boring kind of UK lads, they're together. And then you've got some lads who kind of go in between everything, perhaps like the Van Arnholts, Cabaye, some of the others, maybe Loftus Cheek. And I think that's where you he fits in our dynamic, perhaps in the same way that, Damo seems to have been fairly well liked. There's an aspect of people saying Damo was, perhaps too big of a personality, but, maybe you need some of these people. Are we done with this topic, or do we need to cover anything more?
One more thing from me as Wayne Hennessy.
Oh my God.
Wayne Hennessy.
Wow.
Mate, that's impressive, because do you know what? I don't think in all the years I've had a season ticket with us in Premier League, I don't think I've sung a Wayne Hennessy song. There's not been many. There's not been many.
I remember at the Liverpool game when we won. But all these years ago, back in the Liverpool game when we won 2-1, when Benteke shook Sacco's hands, I was in the terraces.
Yeah.
Wayne Hennessy.
Oh, mate.
I'm showing my age today, but yeah.
Mate, showing your age, that was about a week ago. I tell you who was showing their age today. That lad at West Brom, Neom.
Oh, I can't stand the bloke.
Yeah, but mate, I have strong memories of him in a Watford shirt, just getting rinsed by Zaha. And watching him today, there was a few occasions where he's just got destroyed numerous times by Zaha. There's times where Zaha's crashed into him. He's crashed into Zaha. There's like, and I was amazed. And this is where I think with Zaha, you can see perhaps it nothing was coming today. There wasn't that ultimate kind of fire that Wilf normally brings, because nothing erupted. There was no big angular come off. There was a few occasions where it could have gone, and it just didn't. It just didn't get there. And this bloke, I think he's done huge favours for Palace over the years, including, like, was it the foul that gave us the win at Watford? Not the one for the Kevin Phillips penalty, I don't think. But yeah, that fella has served us well in the last couple of years as a terrible fullback who has given us numerous scoring opportunities. So yeah, as he probably plays his last game in the Premier League, a little salute to Alan Neom. But just before we get off the topic of rubbish players, is there anyone from that West Brom team that you think we ought to be looking at for next season for Palace?
Ooh, what's the Hagazi? Is that his name? I think he'd make a good rotation. It's like third centre back. He looks really good today, and I know a lot of people have been not raving, but say they've been really impressed with his performances. So I'd take Hagazi.
Jamiri?
I go with Foster. I've got a mate. All right, I know he listens to the podcast, so I'm shout him out. His surname is Forster, so I always call Foster the fake Forster. But both of the goals, none of them were his fault, and I thought he had that first save, the Zaha shot. Just what the fuck? How? Like, basically, yeah. As much as I am bumming Wayne Hennessy, I'm gonna go with Foster, I think, and I'll go with Rondon just because we need a. Wow, we need a fucking striker. To be fair, as much as Benteke is my hero, and I know next season he's gonna do the job. We'll have Rondon as a backup. Let's put it that way. So yeah.
You don't fancy Hal Robson, Kanu, or Daniel Sturridge, no?
To be fair, I don't know enough. Literally, I'm the first to admit I just know about Palace players. I don't have a fucking clue about any other team. So I'll be the first to admit that.
Sturridge is basically what happens if you combine the injuries of Sacco, Benteke, Punchin into one person.
But right, I think we went through this before the pod. So basically, for anyone who didn't join us before the pod, I had a little. Basically, where I work, we've got a couple of Arsenal fans, a couple of Liverpool fans, a couple of Man United fans. So we had a crazy debate about who's going to the World Cup. Obviously, I'm the one saying Townsend. They're like, nah, fuck off, you're mad, you're drunk. I'm like, all right, what about Loftus-Cheek? Nah, this. I'm like, all right, fuck you guys. And then the Arsenal fans are like, Sturridge. And then I'm like, And then United fans are like, oh, fuck off. And then there's two Arsenal fans going, Sturridge. And I'm just like, you guys are weird. So, no, Sturridge.
He's played in one season more than 30 games once in his career. He's managed 30 games in a season once. He's managed 29 once. This is league games. He's never played more than 4 cup games in a season. So
how many goals has he scored in these 30 league games?
In the season he played 30 games. Chelsea played him as a winger more than us down the middle, and he scored 11. When he was at Liverpool, there was that season where he was flames, and it was 21 in 29. But that's when he then got broken. The next season he played 12. The next season he played 14. The next season he played 20. The next season he played 9, scoring 4, 8, 3, and 2. So the boy has just got worse and worse and worse. And I feel for him because supremely talented. And I think if you take that Chelsea lad and you take him to Liverpool, that first season where he gets like 10 in 14 in half a season and then 21 the next season, if you can have that Daniel Sturridge, yeah, absolutely. I would all over him.
How tall is he? Huh.
I don't know. The website I'm looking at doesn't tell me. Judging by what I've seen on FIFA and other things, I'd say he's about 6 foot.
To be fair though, like, not that I don't have, like, to anyone who hasn't listened to this pod before, I don't have Benteke on the back of my shirt. But I think at the beginning of the season, Benteke didn't have the delivery that a central striker would need. I know we had Townsend and Zaha at that point, but actually no, we didn't have Zaha because he got injured. But like, I don't know. I honestly think that Benteke next season, if we sell Benteke, fair enough. If we keep Benteke and he's shit, if anyone wants to come up with the fucking white van in Shirley, feel free. You can kill me, whatever. But I think Benteke is going to be the one next season. I think he really, like, the summer will calm him down. There won't be as much pressure. We'll come into the next season, like fucking Benteke up front, and we'll keep Zaha. I know that as well. Zaha, Townsend. As long as we've got that front three, that's it. I know I'm looking a lot further ahead than I probably should be, but if we've got that front three, Zaha, Townsend, and Benteke, well, that's it. We'll be fine. And Hennessy and goal, obviously, my hero.
Where does Chungy fit into this? This is where I'm getting confused.
He can just be in the fucking stands cheering on. Still be my hero, but
There's probably a space for him in the crystals. Do you know what I mean? Them girls.
Yeah,
We're a long way away.
I'd be on the pitch if fucking Chung and Lee went in the crystals. I'd be on the pitch.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know who's more offended, Chun Young Lee or the crystals.
He'd love it.
Right. I think
move on, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've done the game and the players to death a little bit. Roy's staying. That's the message we got from Roy. It was, this is the time of year where 12 months ago, Steve Parish was chill, sat there thinking, "Oh, I'm going to meet with Big Sam on Monday, and we're going to, Tuesday we're going to get new players." And that's when Sam decides, I fancy one of these Ian Dowie style retirements or relocations. And I think we're all hoping this season that Roy doesn't do that. I think Steve's been quite clever. He's brought someone who lives locally. So there's no chance that Roy can turn around and go, "Oh, I want to go back to my family." Because they'll be like, "Well, Reiggate's pretty close." But what do you think is going to be the conversation between Roy and Steve, ignoring the amount of money that we have to spend, ignoring the players? Let's assume that all the players that we're offering contracts to re-sign. Where do you think we need to strengthen, Panda? If we're going to achieve 40 points and more next season, what do we need?
Probably a midfielder. We've got Loftus-Cheek leaving, and they'll probably leave a void. So perhaps another backup winger as well. I'd say probably sound a number 10 that can play behind the striker, and then another winger for rotation in case Zaha or Townsend are injured or we need to freshen things up. Like, I think defensively we're sorted if we do keep the out contracts in, bar Delaney. But yeah, I mean, we got the goalkeeper sorted. Well, hopefully he still comes. So yeah, I would probably say a number 10 and a winger. Another winger.
Okay, Jamebi, I'm not going to tell you to keep it brief, but if you could maybe keep it slightly briefer, that would be awesome.
Right, I'll keep it brief. Apologies, Jensen. But even if Kabay goes, I think Riederwald will fill in. I know he's younger and, he's probably not as experienced, but I reckon he's the next Kabay. And I'll keep it brief. And that's it.
Okay, I feel like I've robbed you there. You didn't need to keep it quite that brief. Just slightly briefer than the Hennessy thing, which is fine. For me, I think, given Scott Dan's injury, I think you're looking perhaps for a centre back. Let's assume if we re-sign Joel Ward, and I appreciate that I said let's assume we re-sign everyone and we offer the contract to. If we do re-sign Joel Ward, then absolutely. But I think maybe you keep him as like a Martin Kelly style backup, right back, come centre back. But otherwise, if we don't have Joel Ward, I think we need a centre back because Riedewald, he's not that player. I think he is more of a Cabaye kind of player, breaking stuff up, trying to make a simple pass and keep the ball moving. We need a proper unlocking other teams' defences on the ground midfielder. We need, and I'd love it to be Nia Kirby, honestly. I'd love James Daly to break into the first team and give competition to Connor Wickham and Benteke, but we may want to have someone who offers something different, like a full electric fast, proper, Darius Vassell in the old days, not Darius Vassell at the end of his career. One of them super fast, little tiny fellas who just like scoring goals, like Chicharito in the old days, that kind of thing. And yeah, a backup winger, because, yeah, man, Townsend and Zaha, that's two people, and I'm not having Chun Yong Lee as a winger, just straight up, I'm not. But Lokilo, that boy looks, he's another one. I'd be willing to give him, Daly and Kirby every single friendly before the start of the season just to see if these boys can do something. Right, Jamebi, I felt like I cut you a little too short. You got anything else?
I'm trying to think of what I was going to say. Actually, no, I do remember. Right. So we're talking about keeping players, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take over host for this minute. Panda, do we think we're keeping Luca?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yes.
Don't step. Are we keeping Luca?
No, he's gone as far as I'm concerned.
What?
I don't know though, because he's one of them players that's like, he's done so well, and he's such a good penalty taker. I don't see why the big teams don't look at I don't see how he's not a guaranteed players player in my heart. And don't step. You can elaborate, because I agree as well.
Mate, you've only got to look at what's happened to Southampton, what's happened to Leicester. Those players, particularly the middle of the pitch, ballpark, proper players. And he's a player. He's not, I love Cabaye. Cabaye loves to break shit up and make a pass. Cabaye's not done any of the stuff he did at Newcastle. And that's why PSG let him go, because he didn't do it there. Luca's come in on the biggest stage with a very average bunch of players around him. He's made a huge difference. To me, Luca's been as big this year as Wilf. Luca hasn't missed games, so we can't have seen how bad we were without him. The big clubs will have noticed. Absolutely will have noticed. And Luca might want to stay. He might love it around Croydon. I'm sure he's in and out of all the Serbian supermarkets, and he might even help at some of the Polish car washes and stuff. But yeah,
Lidl and Audi.
Yeah,
Lidl in New Addington. You never know.
Man, I can't see him in New Addington. Do you know what I mean?
Cabaye.
Nah, come on, man.
Nah,
New Addington's just round the corner.
That's at the end of the tram line. I doubt he probably sees the tram every so often from like out of his tinted X5. It's like, wow, that is a weird bus. But he's such a good player. He's genuinely one of the best players I've ever seen in a Palace shirt. Same as Wilf, proper top draw player. And I'd love him to go and have an amazing World Cup, because he really deserves it for all the hard work he's put in at Palace. If he does, my God, that boy's gone. Yeah, that's my feeling on that.
Right, I'm gonna speak again. Shit, I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, brilliant.
It's about Luca as well.
Is he going? Is he staying?
Fuck it. I might have to even fucking delete this.
Jeez.
That's not
I
how
had
it
a
works.
crazy good, like I was
Comment
carrying this,
Stat.
carrying this on. Ah, fucking hell. Nah,
to do with
fuck
his
it.
wife, to do with why he likes New Addington, to do with like the World Cup.
Oh my god, I can't even fucking
Do you know who I
believe.
think? If anyone comes for him, I think it'll be Man United. I think it's Man United coming in.
Nah, no way.
Perfect
I didn't see that.
Carrick replacement.
All right, continue this, and I just fuck it. I can't remember. If I do remember though, I'll bring it back.
I feel like now, this is like verbal editing. If we could bring in that Tony Hart gallery music, you know, the just while Jameebi's thinking to try and get it back.
I just fucking had such a good point as well. I was thinking to myself, like, this is like if the pod ever heard this, it'd be a different pod. This week
Yeah.
it'd be a different pod. And
Mind
we'd
blown.
have fans all over the world listening to this with my comment.
Yeah.
Now it's
mate,
gone. It's fucking gone. It's fucked. The pod's fucked. Abandon the pod. Fuck it.
Have you got anything else to add, Panda? Because I don't want to. Because we can edit the whole pod just to finish on that.
No, I literally don't. So we can leave it on that.
Yeah, just abandon the whole thing. Yeah, just abandon the whole thing, man.